Morgan.
And I'm Jake, and this is Neverland Navigation Radio, where we get nautical and talk about Morgan's Disney cruise and Disney Cruise Line in general.
Yeah, Disney Cruise Line in general. What we know of it anyway, the experience that I've had.
Full disclosure, I have never been on a Disney cruise. I've been on cruises, but never a Disney cruise. So Morgan is kind of our leading nautical expert, add it to the resume, that's going to kind of be taking the captain's wheel for this episode and kind of sharing her experience because, oh my gosh, you just went on a cruise.
Yeah, we just went on the Disney Wonder. And a fun thing about this is that before this year, I had never been on a cruise at all. So my experience is that of a newcomer, not of a seasoned veteran.
She's getting her sea legs.
Yes. So maybe that will help somebody out there that hasn't done it yet, kind of see it.
You're helping me because...
Just did it.
Yeah.
Post-COVID. Sort of in COVID, though. You know what I mean? But post the really, really bad where you had to test twice.
Right.
Anyway.
Post-vaccines and all that.
Yeah.
So, you're kind of helping me as one of those people because I have never taken a Disney cruise, but I am about to get married, so I'm looking at potential honeymoons, and I plan on taking a Disney cruise at some point soon. So, this information, I think, is going to be helpful for me envisioning what that vacation might actually look like.
Right.
And if you at home have never been on a Disney cruise, then hopefully you're in that boat, no pun intended, with me and kind of learning the ropes. No.
Oh, wow.
Wow. This episode is gonna go
funny.
Overboard. All right, I'm done. All right, so I kind of want to start, if you don't mind, asking you a little, some broad questions about cruise line, and then we'll get kind of more specific.
So, and here's the other thing. With Disney, in general, you cannot go into these things blind.
Oh my gosh.
You have to plan ahead.
Good point.
So, I mean, the fact that you're listening to this is great. If you don't plan ahead, you will not have the best experience.
Oh no. Give us some examples of things that could happen to you if you don't plan ahead.
Okay, well,
you're gonna slip on a banana peel.
So the first Disney cruise that I took was February this year. 2022, we went on the Magic.
Oh.
Yeah, and that one went really well. I have also been on a Royal Caribbean cruise, and then we went on the Wonder just last week.
Wow.
And this time, it was Halloween on the High Seas, and one of the things that looked cool when I was looking at pictures was this pumpkin tree lighting ceremony that they do, on the first day.
So when I think of the words pumpkin tree lighting, I am picturing a Christmas tree made out of pumpkins.
So
what am I supposed to be thinking?
It's like a spooky looking tree that has jack-o'-lanterns kind of hanging from the branches.
Oh.
Yeah. So then they're
awesome.
supposed... Yes, it's very fun looking. So there's supposed to be this kind of storytelling event, and then they light the tree up, and then it's lit for the thing. So when we went on the Magic, I planned, and researched like crazy for months.
Right.
Really.
Well, that is more your personality,
that's me.
And you like to be well prepared in detail for vacations and trips and that kind of thing.
And I like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. For our sailing on the Wonder, I decided that I wanted to not have everything spoiled for me.
Yeah.
So I did not research as much. And so one of the things that happened was we didn't get to see the pumpkin tree lighting ceremony because we got there 10 minutes early. The ship... And
that wasn't enough.
That wasn't enough. There was no space. The ship holds 2,300 people, I believe. I could be off by 100, but it's definitely in the low 2,000s.
Right.
The atrium where this happened and where a bunch of other things happen during your cruise that you can see, there's space to look from the third deck, which is where it happens, the fourth deck, and the fifth deck.
Sure.
But there's not a lot of space. I actually counted because I was very frustrated that we didn't get to see it. And 200 people could see out of over 2,000.
Wow.
So if you don't know, if you didn't research and know to get there 30, 45 minutes ahead of time, you're not going to see it because only 200 people can see it. I don't like that, but it's a benefit of planning. So,
Absolutely.
So that's a major tip.
So when it comes to tips for Disney Cruise Line, your number one tip truly is, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Right. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Wow. So it's almost like, you know how we're kind of regularly talking about how with Disney Genie and Genie Plus and the park reservation system, that it's kind of gotten
and
a
the
little
restaurant
bit more like
reservation
in
system.
depth with the parks. Do you think that's even more true of Cruise Line?
At least as true.
Wow.
Because
okay.
like with understanding Disney Genie and understanding individual Lightning Lane and understanding virtual queue, understanding that if you want to go to a particular restaurant, you need to be up and ready 60 days ahead of time.
Yeah.
If you don't know that stuff, you're going to miss out. And this is like that.
Wow.
I didn't know.
So I think a lot of people, including me, who look at how complicated it is to visit Walt Disney World right now, heard that and thought, am I going to be stressing about that kind of thing on my vacation? Were you?
So I was stressed about it after we missed the pumpkin tree lighting thing. That's because
the first
it's my
domino.
Yes,
yeah.
Because that's my personality, and I was so mad at myself because on the Magic we didn't miss anything because I planned.
Okay, but I think if a cruise ship is designed to hold 2,000 some odd people and only 200 of those people can see, and that's the only showtime of, was that the only showtime?
Yes. That it's a bummer.
I think you give yourself a break there because
so Michael,
poor planning. Like, I hate to say it, but like if
on their part,
if there's something in the atrium that has an event, around it, then they need to figure out a way
to do it more than once,
or don't have it in the atrium.
Right.
Put that event.
Well, the pumpkin tree is in the atrium, so it kind of had to be. But
if you're going to light it ceremoniously, the people who paid good
to.
Money to be on the boat should be able to see the lighting. Like,
yeah,
if you're going to advertise something, then it should be accessible. And I'm not saying to everyone on the boat. I'm not trying to say anything crazy. But how about more than 10% of the boat?
Right. I know.
That's a little
I was surprised.
Selective,
So I'm not saying that made it not worth it, or that it made it stressful, or that it would make it stressful for somebody else. I'm saying you need to plan ahead.
Good tip. Really good tip.
Just like with getting the dining reservations, you have a much harder time. Like, you're not going to get into Topolino's if you don't get it 60 days in advance.
Okay.
There are ways.
I want to start at an even more broad place, if that's okay. As someone who doesn't know a lot about the cruise line.
Sure.
So, like, I know there's the magic and the wonder and the wish and all these different things.
Yeah.
Does each cruise ship go to different ports, or is it multiple ships go to the same ports, but it's a different experience on board? How is the framework of Disney Cruise Line worked out? Do you know?
Yes, I do know, but it does change. So what I know could change, right? So the Magic and the Wonder are the two oldest boats, right? They were. I'm not going to give a date because I don't know the exact.
After the Big Red Boat, new era.
So those two were built at the same time. They're sister ships. They have an identical floor plan, if you will. I'm sure that's not the nautical term for it.
Yeah.
So one of them sails from Florida, and the other one spends the winter and spring months sailing out of California.
Oh.
And then does Alaska sailings for the summer.
Gotcha.
Now, there's a reason for that. That ship being smaller than the three newer ships can fit through the canals to get to Alaska. The bigger ships, like the Fantasy, right?
That makes so much sense.
They can't fit.
So
that one's going to stay over there. As far as ports go, the ones that go out of Florida, the other four, which the Magic also goes to Europe in the summer.
Oh.
But in the fall, winter, spring, all four of the newer ships are out of Florida. Different ports in Florida, though. There's the one by Disney. Sometimes they'll go out of Miami.
So it's really entirely about. Now, this might be a silly question, but as someone who doesn't cruise a lot but goes to Disney a lot and really would care about the Disney half of the fact that this is a Disney cruise,
right?
Do you prioritize where you want to go or which boat you want to be on? Is that a crazy question?
No, not at all. I prioritize which boat I want to be on, and there's a little bit more to it.
Really?
Because listen,
you're like, take me anywhere.
Some of the Yes, take me anywhere.
Wow.
Because the boat is the most of the thing.
I love that attitude because you're on the boat way more than you're ever going to be on
Some of
whatever
the
your
ports
destination
we don't
is.
even get off. Like this, the one we just went on went to Ensenada, Mexico, and I haven't heard great things about Ensenada. I'm sure that some people have had great experiences
And
there.
we're specifically talking about the vacation, like tourist
The
experience in that location.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So for me, I weighed out do we want to go get off at Ensenada and go walk around and explore and go to a restaurant, or do I want to spend more time on the boat? And we chose to spend more time on the boat because there are fun things to do.
I would probably stay on the boat.
Yeah, I stayed on the boat when we went to Nassau.
You went to
also.
2 places in Mexico, right?
Yes.
If I'm
We
going
got
to
off
2
for
places
one.
in Mexico, one of them I'm probably staying on.
Right. Exactly.
I'm going to pick.
Exactly. So we stayed on the boat also
This
in
one
Nassau.
also went to
for the
Nassau?
No, that was the Magic.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Magic. Okay.
Right. But, okay, so some of the boats do like 3-night or 4-night cruises. Some of them do 5-night. Some of them do 7-night. And then also there are other things that will help you choose which one you want. Like the one we just did had Halloween at the High Seas. I think that they all do Halloween at the High Seas during the month of October.
Okay.
And part of September, if not all of it.
What are the other high seas options?
Yeah, well, there's also the Merry Christmas. I think it's called Very Merry, just like it is in Disney World. I could be wrong about that, but there's a Christmas one, and then there's
Not holidays on the high seas.
It
That
should
would be
right?
so fun.
Yeah. Maybe they wanted to specify that it's Christmas, though. I'm not sure. But anyway, there's a Marvel Day at Sea right now. There used to be a Star Wars Day at Sea. There's not anymore. Oh, and here's something that was really confusing for me when I was first looking into, do we want to do this? What is this? Marvel Day at Sea means that one of your 5 days is Marvel themed. The other 4 are regular Disney cruise themed.
Right.
One day is fully Marvel themed where like Marvel takes over your boat.
Fun.
So, but yes.
Not for me.
well, that's
'cause
exactly
I don't
it.
love that.
I
but,
do
like,
love
as
Marvel,
an experience,
but I love Disney more, and I was really excited to take a Disney cruise that
Not
had the
Marvel.
Disney stuff.
Yeah.
But my husband and my child wanted to go on the Marvel thing, so I booked Marvel thinking that it was going to be all Marvel, and they were going to get what they wanted more than I was going to get what I wanted, and then it was like a happy thing when I found out 4 days are just a regular Disney cruise, and 1 day is Marvel.
Oh.
But that 1 day is jam-packed with Marvel.
Well, great.
And now there's a
Great for
Pixar
them.
Day at Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's-
Oh, I've heard that. That's the newest one, right?
Yes.
It's Pixar they just added.
Yes.
Fun, exciting.
Yes.
Now,
So
would be
I based my
curious to-
decision on how many nights and if it has one of the days at sea more than I do on the ports of call because I don't really care that much about that right now.
and each of the ships have different restaurants and different experiences, right?
Yes.
It's not
Even sister ships have different restaurants.
explain sister ships.
So the Disney Magic and the Disney Wonder, which is the one we just went on, they were built at the same time and they have the same floor plan basically. So like when we went on this one, since we had already been on the Magic, I knew where I was going to get to what.
Wow, okay.
If something was playing at the Walt Disney Theater, I knew where that was. It's at the front of the
Really
boat.
good to know, yeah.
But the restaurants have different themes. They're the same locations. So if you know one of your restaurants is deck 3, middle of the boat, which is where one of the main restaurants is. On the Magic, that restaurant was called, on the Wonder, that restaurant was called Triton's.
Sure.
And then on the Magic, it was called Lumiere's.
Okay.
It was the same basic restaurant setup.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it just had a little bit different color and decor.
Retheme.
Yes. And on the Magic, one of them was Rapunzel themed, and there was kind of like a dinner show type situation
Ooh,
there.
fun.
Yes. I guess I should have said Tangled theme, but you knew what I meant.
I did.
And then on the Wonder, that same area with the same, which also has a show, was Princess and the Frog themed. I almost said Tiana themed because
Yeah, it is. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so they have the same, and then those two, because they're sister ships, they both have Polo as the adult only dining experience that you can book for an additional charge.
Why is it adult only?
It is a specialty restaurant where you pay extra, and it's adult only to give adults something special if they want to get away. I'll be honest, there are a lot of screaming babies, temper tantrum throwing toddlers on a Disney
Of course,
cruise. Of course. It's a
yeah.
Disney thing. I mean, on the Royal ship, we had the same, I mean, you have the same things. There's a lot of kids.
Yeah, and Disney, I would say, is even more aimed toward families. So
Right.
you get, you know that going
into
in.
it. But
This is not the cruise show. This is not the cruise ship with the burlesque show.
Right,
You know?
right.
Like,
but they do have some adult-only areas to kind of let you take a break from that.
Yes.
And Polo is one of
elegant
them.
breather.
Yes.
Yeah.
Polo is a Italian restaurant. It's right now $45 per person of an upcharge.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like the rest of the ship. Everything you eat is free, right?
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about how dining works on the cruise ship.
Yes. So the way dining works is everything's free. One of the things that is cool about Disney that other cruise lines like Royal Caribbean don't do is they do let you have soda for free your whole time, like soda, tea, coffee, that kind of thing.
Soft drinks.
Yeah, of course, alcoholic beverages or specialty beverages are going to cost more, but
Drink packages type of things. Does Disney do a drink package?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
Great.
you buy them individually. I didn't see anything advertising a drink package, so I'm going to assume no.
Yeah, because that makes
That's
sense
not
as
their
they're more
thing.
geared toward families.
Exactly.
You
You
know?
can definitely get a drink, but you have to just pay for it individually. We're on Royal.
Oh, you can drink 3-night blowout. That's
yeah,
not Disney.
that's not a Disney thing.
That'll be the Universal show.
Right,
Got
right.
you.
So everything's included. At night, you have rotational dining. So there on the Magic and the Wonder, there are 3 restaurants, and 2 of them have kind of like
Not
dinner
including
show.
the adult one.
Right. 3 rotational restaurants that are included. So you get on a 5-night cruise, you would get 2 at one, 2 at another, and 1 at one. And you stay with your same server the whole time.
Cute. I love that.
Yeah, they get to know you.
Build. Relationship.
Yes, yeah. They'll bring you out whatever you order to drink on night 1, they wind up bringing you every night.
Let me tell you something. As someone who's never been on a Disney cruise but has known people who've gone on Disney cruises, I hear sparkling reviews of these cruise line servers.
Yeah.
People who you build a really lovely, like, friendly connection with, and then if you take a cruise again on the same boat, like, servers who
remember
remember
you
who you
years
are,
later.
and they remember things about your life,
Yeah.
and they, like, I heard this one story of a friend of mine who had someone who was cruising with them who was unable to use didn't have dexterous use of their hands to cut things. Their server cut all their food for them.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I have seen stuff like that.
That is like above and beyond type of guest service.
Right.
How did that apply? Has that applied to your cruising experience?
That applied very, very much so to our cruise on the Magic.
Was that your first one?
Yes, the one in
Okay.
February. We loved our serving team there.
What made them so?
They had conversations with us. They gave us tips. Like, there are things that
I love that.
Yes.
I love a server who, like, knows the menu inside and out and wants to help you have the best experience
they
for
gave
your
us
palate.
tips on not even the restaurant stuff. Our server on the Magic told us the best place to stand to see the fireworks show.
Oh.
Disney's the only cruise line that right now that has a fireworks show.
Yeah.
They created fireworks that turn into fish food as they come down.
Now, this is some
Magic.
marine magic.
Yes.
This is some hydroponic magic.
Yes. So
That's incredible.
yeah, and they were just so personable and really treated
But I
us
gotta
like,
watch the Epcot fireworks show and get hit in the eye with whatever is flying out. Okay.
You told me that happened. I've never heard of that happening. That's crazy.
I
I believe
feel
it.
it on my face when those. Now, I don't know if that's so much
Would
true
it make
from.
you feel better if it was fish food landing on your face?
Honestly, yeah, because good for somebody. But like for the, I don't know if it's true anymore with Harmonious because I've become someone who watches Harmonious exclusively from inside of restaurants, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But like with Illumination, sometimes I got hit by the firework falling out. Now I would say that
Wild.
I would say, but
More
not like
than once?
not more than once. Not crazy, just like
It wasn't painful.
no, but well,
It's
if it
just, like,
gets in your
weird.
eye, it would be. But it's
Sure.
like just like a little piece of char like hits you in the forehead,
Yeah.
like wild. But like, so you're saying this firework experience? Not only they've got the fish food fireworks,
It is very close.
but your server gave you like hacks for good firework
for
viewing.
a good viewing. Oh my
What?
gosh, amazing! And that
Shout
was something
out.
that in all my
Incredible.
research I didn't know.
Wow.
So that was amazing.
Who
We
else
just-
better to give you information than the people who live
Yeah, there.
on the boat?
Right, but this time on the Wonder, we did not bond with our servers in that way.
Oh.
We actually had you get a table assignment. So you get like a table number. Our number was 47 on the Wonder. And in each restaurant, you sit at 47. That way you kind of get to know your table number. In 2 of the 3 locations, we were in like kind of smashed in a corner. It was really just bad luck on our part because that bad table stayed with us. Yeah, the servers could hardly get to us. So unfortunately, we had really bad luck on that. And then because of that, I feel like our servers couldn't get to us to establish a relationship.
Oh, so they didn't even have the chance, really.
Right. They were like having to kind of shout to just get our order. We didn't get at the kind of like, usually you get really fine dining, like they're laying stuff in front of you, they're taking things away immediately, they change out your silverware.
That's fancy.
And it's every meal, which is wild.
Wow,
yeah.
Treat you like royalty.
Yes.
Type service.
This time we didn't get that, and that was unfortunate, but most of the time you do.
Do you think it was because you were in the corner?
I do.
It was like hard for them to like navigate?
I think that had a lot to do with it. I really wish that...
So the people in these corner tables are really getting like negatively.
Yes, we were in
impacted.
a corner, because also it impacts how well you can see whatever they're trying to show you. Like in Animator... Well, in one of the restaurants, it's called Animator's Palette, there are big frames, like bigger than the frames we have on these walls, that are really screens, and so there will be stuff...
Morgan has big Epcot posters in her room.
Yes, I forgot that we're not just on video.
That's okay.
Sorry.
I'm looking out for you, audio people.
So there are these giant frames, and there are screens with like that are showing drawings happening because it's like an animation.
Is somebody drawing them, or is it like animate, like special effects, like animation?
I guess it's like pre-recorded or special effects.
Cool, but it's like presentational.
It's presentational, yes, because like you start seeing eyes, and you're guessing who it is going to be, and then eventually like things go kind of from black and white to color as the night progresses.
That sounds lovely.
It is really amazing.
Very Art of Animation Resort vibe.
That is exactly what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
And so with us in the corner, we had the one poster that was right next to our table that you really had to crane your neck to look up at to see.
Animated, like screen.
Like they all are like that. And then to see around the room, to see the other ones, there were just people kind of blocking. It was a really weird situation.
You had a bad vantage point.
We had a bad vantage point for sure.
And that was the same for how many of your nights of your 5 night?
I want to say 4. It was the same for 2 of the restaurants.
Disney.
I wish that they had thought about it and been more fair. Like, okay, well, we're gonna stick them in the corner this one night. So the next night that they're in this restaurant, let's move it.
I was just about to say, like, you would think Disney has, and Disney Cruise Line especially, I feel like has a reputation for being above and beyond considerate to the guest experience. So it does slightly surprise me.
It surprised me too.
That there's not some type of like rotation. Like maybe maybe when you get there, they tell you what your table is. I know that makes it more whatever, but like I don't know that there's any value in saying to a guest, I'm sorry you didn't have a good experience. Now have that same experience 2 more nights in a row.
Yes, and I think the thing that surprised me is that there's that bad of a seat at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because in
not well planned.
Right, exactly. In Triton's, we weren't only in a corner. We were in a corner and right next to the serving station, where for anybody that's been a server, or even if you've just been in a restaurant by a serving station, they're loud.
Yeah.
They're where people put like dirty plates and stuff like that. At one point, something broke right next to us. A bunch of stuff broke right next to us. It was not.
It's where there's the bucket of silverware. It's where they're stacking glasses or stacking plates. Like that's where kitchen noise happens.
Yes,
it's the service station.
It's not a luxurious place to be for sure.
And like, to be clear, I know you very well. You would, if that were one night of your cruise, it would have, you wouldn't even be thinking about it anymore.
Nope.
But I'm sure it's the fact that it was all those nights in a row that made you think, oh no.
Yes, and I wasn't mad, I was just disappointed.
Yeah.
It was really sad to not be able to see what you're supposed to see and be served the way you're supposed to be served, especially when you spend that much money.
How was the quality of the food?
The quality of the food was really, really good.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, so I want to broaden, and I want to talk about all of your cruising experience because you've done 3.
Yeah. Oh, also, let me just real quick throw in there. There are 2 different times that you either get first seating or first service, which is at either 5:15 or 5:30, or second, which was at 8:15.
Of dinner?
Yes.
Oh.
Because they can't fit everybody in at once.
Here's another silly situation. Now we're talking about dinner. Breakfast and lunch, are they also in the same restaurants? And do you have the same seat for all of that?
No. So
But
for
they are
breakfast
the
and
same.
lunch, for breakfast and lunch, you've got the option of either going to Cabanas, which is their buffet. You could also skip dinner and go to Cabanas for dinner if you've got, especially if you have like children that just aren't going to sit there for an hour. You know what I mean? And be fine
So that's
dining
a more
with
casual buffet type
Yes.
situation?
As a matter of fact,
Cool.
I would say if you don't have small children, I wouldn't suggest Cabanas unless you're okay with, I mean, the times we did go into the buffet, it was like being surrounded by screaming children. Like, for whatever reason, no children were happy in there.
Okay,
But
sure.
maybe that's why you would want to do it if you're...
You're saying that because the food quality is
the
not as
food
good?
quality isn't as good, and you're surrounded by screaming
Are we talking
children.
like standard theme park buffet food type stuff?
Yes, except for more options.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Wow.
there are more options, but it is a buffet, so some stuff might have been sitting there a little bit longer. You're not getting that.
But we're not
that
talking about
fine
like a
dining
boba
service.
level buffet, are we?
No. Well,
Not as good.
not as good.
Not
or
as good
maybe
quality.
as good, but the other restaurant options are like fine dining.
Oh wow, yeah.
So they like put the napkin in your lap and switch
so
out.
it's the service.
Yeah, it's a lot the service, but it's also that is an option for people whose kids won't sit there through a 3-course meal. So you happen to be surrounded.
Don't default to the buffet. So like if I miss my seating.
Well, so for breakfast and lunch, you've got a 1.5 to 2.5 hour window where you can go into whatever the restaurant is of the day where you can get breakfast or lunch. So, like, there are 3 restaurant options. It's never Animator's Palette. So it's either going to be Tiana's Restaurant. I believe that is actually what it was called, Tiana's Restaurant. Or Triton's Restaurant, and it says in the itinerary, which is on an app. You get this app that tells you what the options are for everything every day.
Hold on. So there's an app that
Yeah.
Whoa, you
the
just blew my
navigator.
mind. So there's an app that tells you where to sit and they don't randomize your seat every night?
Yes.
That is terrible planning.
I know.
To stick people in the corner for
And-
4 nights
yeah.
when there's an app that could be telling you, push notification, it's dinner time, today your table is this.
Yeah.
Whoa, I had no idea there was a Disney Cruise Line app for while
And
you're on board.
the table numbers, they could easily have taken table 47 and gone, okay, the first night it's going to be in the corner. On the next night that everybody's in Triton's, why don't we rotate everybody 10 tables over, which would make it so that somebody else was in the corner and the people that were in the corner last night are now in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Easy. Because it's not like the table
I mean to
is
harp
physically...
on like
I know.
the fact
it
that
was
the fact that that is a problem of the cruise, but
Yeah.
like the dining is a big, for me
it's everything.
I know. We're both the same.
Yeah.
Where, like, for us, trips are about memorable meals.
Yeah.
That's a huge part of it. Like, sometimes the meal is, the eating is just as important as the experience itself.
Yes.
And I feel like with a cruise, like, the eating is an integral part of the experience, even more so than on other vacations.
Right.
So, that to me, I would be disappointed.
I was disappointed.
I don't mean to
So sad.
complain. But
Yes, I know. Same here. That was the one bad thing, and so Jake feels bad for me that we kind of went through that. But so back to the app. The app will say to you, your options for breakfast are Cabanas, which is open for 3.5 hours for breakfast.
Okay.
Or no, 2.5 hours for breakfast. Or you could go to Triton's and have a sit down breakfast from 8 to 9:30. You have to get there between 8 and 9:30.
that sounds so
Now-
nice. What type of food am I getting at these? It varies.
The breakfast is kind of like a traditional Disney breakfast buffet where you've got pancakes and waffles and fruit and meats and eggs and stuff like that.
Is it good?
I don't really like that kind of. No, I mean, we didn't do it very much because I like I just said, I'm here for the food, so I wanted that fine dining experience for all of my meals.
Yeah.
Why not? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? If you go to Triton's or Tiana's, whichever it is, for breakfast, you pick something from the starters, which is like smoked salmon and cream cheese with
Oh,
capers,
nice.
or 4 different kinds of yogurt parfait.
Why would any... well, like you said, the people with the children at the buffet, sure.
Some people have kids that will not sit there for a 3-course meal.
Yeah.
I get it. I do want to sit there through a 3-course meal.
Yeah,
so I got like a smoked salmon or a yogurt parfait, and then you could get a Belgian waffle or French toast or a made-to-order omelet.
Yeah.
Pancakes, eggs Benedict with smoked salmon, like fancy stuff.
Fancy, yeah. Elevated.
And then you can get a coffee or an orange juice, and you're being served by somebody random. Not your server.
Right. For breakfast and lunch.
Yes.
Okay.
And then so for lunch, it's the same options. You can do Cabanas, which is the buffet, and you've got like a 2.5 hour window, or you've got a 1.5 hour window to go to Triton's or Tiana's, be served by somebody random, but you get an appetizer, an entree, and dessert.
Silly question. I remember when I did a cruise last, which was years and years and years ago, I feel like the buffet was... There was one buffet that was always open. They don't do that
No,
anymore?
not on Disney.
Wow,
no.
interesting.
I know. I actually was kind of surprised about that.
Yeah, that is a little surprising.
And it really, the times that they have are a little bit constricted. You definitely have to take that into consideration when planning your day. There were days that we missed breakfast because there was something else we wanted to do. Well, that kind of stinks. You know what I mean?
So you've got to plan an itinerary.
Yes,
for yourself.
you have to really be a planner to really
do it right.
Do it right.
And not miss anything. If you're someone who's okay with that, though, like you're like, oh, breakfast, whatever, I'll get lunch. To me, unfortunately, I am not from an environment, I am not in an environment currently in my life where I can just throw away a Disney cruise. Like, I would be soaking it all in and trying to get my value out of it.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
So, like, I would not want to be someone missing anything.
Yes.
So, like, I would be planning, like, I'd be planning my meals, I'd be planning my experiences.
Exactly.
And you have to.
I think
I don't plan to go to Walt Disney anymore because I've done it. We're locals, so we know Disney
you don't
inside
plan
and out.
anymore.
So we don't really plan out an itinerary.
Not unless I'm bringing a family member.
Of what we're gonna ride, or sometimes
we don't have to.
Sometimes even where we're gonna eat. Like obviously we'll get advanced dining reservations for what we need to get reservations for when we're planning to shoot a review or something.
Right.
But when it comes to like wandering into the park, usually if I'll get a dining reservation a few days ahead, fine. I won't plan what I'm writing. Nothing like that. For this type of experience, because I'm new at it, I would definitely like be itinerary based, not like crazy, but like an app in my phone to remind me what I'm supposed to be doing on this day and where I'm supposed to be going, not to miss stuff.
I would go through the app and have a note, and then on the note I would write, because you can go through and put a heart next to everything you want to do.
Oh.
It doesn't include dining though, and for me, that's an important part, and I want to do the sit down. I'm planning around the dining.
Right.
Same. Mm-hmm. So, unfortunately, the dining, a lot of times it was like 8 to 9:30. You had to be at Triton's or you had to be at Tiana's or whichever one you're on.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a small window. And sometimes we had to miss something. I do not normally eat breakfast, but if I'm on a vacation where the food is paid for, I'm eating everything.
Oh, yeah.
So there's also a pizza, Pinocchio's Pizza, on both of those ships. I'm sure there's a pizza place on all of them that you can get pizza at. That's almost not 24/7, but that's most of the normal hours of the day. I think it's open till like 10. You can get soft serve for free most of the time.
Did you ever have pizza from there?
Yeah, we tried it once just to try it.
How was it?
It was okay.
Oh, okay.
Which was surprising because on Royal, it was amazing.
Is it as bad as like Disney World General Pizza?
Yeah.
Or so it's not good.
I didn't think it was good. It definitely wasn't worth missing
It's a Pizza Rizzo, not a Via Napoli.
Yes.
Okay.
There's also a place that has like hamburgers. They probably have hot dogs. They had shawarma. Bailey is really into Marvel, so Iron Man talks about shawarma. So on the Marvel Day at sea, they had that, and I was like, oh, cool, this is a Marvel thing, and we tried it, and it was good and great. This time they had it, even though it wasn't Marvel Day at Sea, so they must be like running.
They're like, well, we know how to make shawarma.
Yeah, and it was good.
Might as well. Oh, so nice.
Again, I'm not going to skip fine dining for it, but if you've got a small child that will not sit through a meal, or if you miss it,
you can still eat.
Yeah, you're not going to starve for sure.
Okay, I didn't know. Yeah. Like, I didn't know if you missed a meal, you were donezo. Like, I had no idea. So, like, to know, like, okay, if I am in a situation where I'm missing the tree lighting or I'm missing breakfast,
you wouldn't
to
miss
get to
the tree lighting because the shows that are like big shows, like the tree lighting, the fireworks show, which is a pirate show, and most of them not. If you're doing Marvel, the fireworks show goes with Marvel if you're doing Marvel. But anyway, there was a Halloween kind of dance party.
Oh.
There's a sail away party. They plan those to not be during dinner and not be during lunch. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
What you would miss would be like a movie. Like, this might sound dumb, but we wanted to see Hocus Pocus 2 in the Walt Disney Theater. We did. It was awesome. I think we missed breakfast because of it or something like that one day.
Sure. So, like, if I were you and I missed breakfast because I prioritized, I wanted to see Hocus Pocus 2.
You could go get something else.
You could still go
But
get
also,
something.
the time difference between breakfast and lunch is teeny. Breakfast is like from 8 to 9:30, and then lunch is from 11 to 12:30.
First of all, I'm sleeping till 10.
Then you're going to miss breakfast every day. Yeah.
You know, sometimes you got to cut your losses.
Yeah.
I would get up at 9 and suck it up.
You would, because there's not much to do on the boat past like 10 p.m.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
Like
fair enough.
on boats that are more catered towards adults, there's like clubs and bars and stuff like that. And there are bars, but there's not much going on past 10 or 11.
All right.
We liked like the trivia. Sorry, go on.
No,
I didn't
good.
talk about Paulo yet, the really.
Oh, tell me.
So that's a $45 per person upcharge, and then you tip that person.
Adult only.
Adult only. If you've got a 17-year-old, they will not let them in.
Elevated dining.
Elevated dining, like the most elevated dining I've ever had. I actually, I've heard it compared to Victoria and Albert's.
Fancy.
Yes. So
what is Victoria and Albert's? Fancy.
Victoria and Albert's is the fanciest restaurant in all of Walt Disney World. It's the only restaurant that's got like a
Where
you
is
must
it?
wear.
I've never even seen
Grand
it.
Floridian.
I'm too poor to even look at it.
I haven't been in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's right. It is.
but you have to wear like a suit and a dress. Like they have a dress code. Paulo also has a dress code. You can't go in there in your bathing suit or have tears in your jeans or whatever. And we went for brunch so that we wouldn't miss one of our fancy dinners. And
Ooh, that sounds nice. But
yes, ours was at 12:30, but there's like a range. That's something you have to book in advance. Like on the Magic, we wanted to do it, and it was sold out. Like weeks, if not months.
How far ahead did you book?
Months. I mean, as soon as it opened, probably 60 days.
How do you know? Do you remember what the
remember
window is? Oh,
I don't remember.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
That's definitely something that you can look up.
Yeah.
Just Google it. Yeah.
So with Paulo, you get
The main message is be on your game if you need that.
Yeah, if you want to do that, that's something that you need to plan ahead for, and definitely look it up and see, hey, when can I book this? Okay, do it that day.
Yeah.
Just like with check-in, I'm jumping around, I'm so sorry. You can check into your cruise 30 days in advance, and you need to be on there at midnight to check in, so that if you want to get there at like 11:30, because if you wait till the next day to hit that check-in button, then it's going to tell you to show up at 4:30, and then you kind of missed 5 hours of your 5 or 6 hours, of your cruise.
How about absolutely?
I want
not?
every minute. I want every minute that I'm paying for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you get there at 11:30, you can get on and have a nice fancy meal. But if you're not allowed to come on the boat until 3 or whatever. No.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Paulo.
and Paulo, yeah, it's very fancy. You get a ton of food, ton. You can order. It's like an appetizer selection. It used to be like a seafood and cold cuts kind of buffet that you would go to, but since COVID, they changed it to they'll bring you out like a sampler of a bunch of seafood, meats, cheeses, stuff like that. Then you get to pick from a appetizer, soup, salad. Then you pick a brunch option, which is like you can get a waffle or whatever.
Oh.
Then you can pick an Italian food option like chicken parmesan or lasagna, but it's like the fanciest chicken parmesan you've ever had. Then you pick a dessert. But like our server recommended that we skip the waffle or whatever, so we didn't get too full, so we had room for a bunch of extra stuff. And he was like, he could tell, I told him this was our first time at Paulo, and he was like, if you want, I can pick everything for you if you want to be brave. And he did, and it was amazing.
Oh, wow.
Also at the dessert, he was like, do you want to just try everything? And I was like, yeah, bring it on.
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh.
So,
was that your best meal on the ship?
By far.
Wow. And did it feel stuffy, or did it feel like...
No, it was lovely. And the tables are all in front of you're at the front of the ship, and it's all glass, beautiful view. It's amazing.
That sounds amazing.
For $45, I spend way more than that at eating sometimes mediocre food at Disney World. So, I mean, we wound up tipping him on what I thought the meal should have cost. So a lot more than 20 or 25%.
And he was so
$90, but he was amazing. Yeah.
That's great.
Oh my God.
What a great experience.
Ever. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You did have great dining.
I did. That one was great.
Tiana's
was also great.
I want to pivot a little bit. We were talking about like when things settle down on the ship. Yeah. Later in the day, that's usually when they have shows, entertainment.
Yes.
Can we talk a little bit about like what? Okay, I have a couple questions.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, we haven't talked about activities at all. I know you talked about, like, you watched Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah, they have 2 theaters. One is more for the live shows, but sometimes they'll show movies there.
Okay.
And then the other one, Buena Vista Theater, is for movies. And they show, like, new releases, and occasionally, I guess, probably something that's not a new release. Something that seems relevant for the time, I guess.
Sure.
Like, they showed Hocus Pocus 1, Hocus Pocus 2. They showed the Buzz Lightyear movie, the new one.
Okay.
Anyway, the Buena Vista Theater is a little smaller. They said that, there's not a lot of leg room, there's no cup holders, but they said that they based it on, like, the golden age of theaters.
Sure.
So it's all very beautiful. Both theaters are very beautiful.
Wow.
But so movies are an option. What was your question?
I like activities. What are the activities?
There's a lot of... Our favorite thing is trivia.
Oh,
so they
fun.
do
I
like
love trivia.
All kinds of different trivia at different... they're actually at bars, but they're for everybody. No, but you do not need snacks.
Oh, you're right.
You could.
I forgot I'm on a cruise.
Yeah, you could go up and get a slice of pizza and a soda and come down for your trivia.
Oh, can we do that right now? That sounds great.
One of them was at... a lot of them were at... Tiana's like bar area, which was Dr. Facilier's bar. So you could totally order something there, but you'd have to pay for it.
Yeah, sure.
But so they did Disney trivia, Villains trivia, Marvel trivia, and then they also had like animation classes. They had some cooking classes.
Cool.
Like Remy, anyone can cook. Yeah, they had 2 of those. There were crafts for kids. There's kids at daycare type areas where you could...
Kid club.
If I had little kids still, which my child is a teenager, but if I had little kids still, I would totally be taking advantage of this because you drop your kid off, they have fun all day, you go do adult stuff. You know what I mean? Like you relax,
cooking
you take a shower.
Massage,
And the stuff like trivia and the game show type stuff, you get a medal if you win, and that's like a big deal.
That's fun.
Yeah. In addition to that, there's like Broadway quality shows at night.
Tell me about the shows. What did you
They
experience?
say that they're better than Broadway.
Who says?
Yeah, the cruise director.
Shocking. All right.
We think it's better, he says. Anyway, on ours, this time they had the Frozen, but you've seen Frozen on actual Broadway.
Yeah.
How long did you say it was on actual Broadway? Like 2...
We saw the tour, which is the Broadway production that came to our regional theater here, our professional theater here, and they the show with intermission, I want to say was like 2:15, 2:30.
So this show was an hour and 10 minutes.
Right.
And Jake and I were talking about the differences earlier, and a lot of the things that you loved were things that I got to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what were your favorite parts?
Well, I mean, who doesn't live for the let it go moment where there's the dress transformation?
The dress transformation, if you're not familiar,
vocals.
is amazing.
Yeah, it's just from the movie, Elsa, like her royal queen attire with her cape and her gloves, and she has this onstage costume transformation where she, all in an instant, turns into that stunning ice dress, the blue crystal ice dress, and the, that and the hair braid thing, that iconic piece of it. That, who doesn't want to see that theater magic happen?
It was magic. Like, at one point, at
the
beginning of, I think, at the beginning of Let It Go, I think it was the beginning of Let It Go, her cape, like, flies off into the sky. Yeah, amazing. That show was beyond amazing for me. That was, like, the highlight.
And honestly,
behind Paulo.
For a cruise ship, I want the show to be like an hour and a half. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
especially for a one that's family.
Because when I'm going out to the theater, it's a different experience because that is what you're doing that evening.
Right.
On a cruise ship, the show is one of the things you're doing.
And they plan those shows around the dinners. So there's like a show for the people that have second dinner.
Excellent.
And then there's a show for the people that have first dinner. There was also another show called Disney Dreams, which is an original show. I think they've actually won awards for it.
Wow.
That
what is
played
that?
on the magic and the wonder. It takes you through the story of a little girl who's about to start 6th grade, and she's going to bed, and she's worried about growing up.
Okay.
And so the blue fairy comes in and says by I think it's by 6 a.m. you need to learn to fly. So then Peter Pan comes in and they go through
Classic Peter.
Yeah, he's trying to go. Well, first he goes through all of these different animated movies that you know and love to try to give her the inspiration to do it herself. So you see a scene from Aladdin. You see a scene from The Little Mermaid. You see a scene from Tangled. Each hour there's a different scene for like
this reminds me of Fill Our Magic almost.
Lion King. It is. It is like. It will bring tears to your eyes because it's all the songs. It's your whole childhood. You know what I mean?
But also live, and I'm sure. How are the vocals? How's the dancing?
Amazing.
Really?
The vocal. So it's the same cast as that does Frozen, but
that blows my mind.
Yes, it is.
So are we talking about one day they have Frozen shows, one day they have the Dream?
Yep.
Disney Dreams.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would be all over that.
Oh, yeah. So 2 of the nights, those are what you're doing. You know what I mean?
And is there entertainment with some of these meals, too?
Yes, yeah. So at Tiana's, there was a live jazz band playing. So at Tiana's, it's like you're at her restaurant. It's like...
Tiana's Palace.
Yes. There's a newspaper up somewhere that says... Tiana's is open. It's like the continuation of the movie.
Right.
And
opening day in the restaurant.
Yeah, so she comes up and she's like introducing her jazz band. She's in a different outfit than what she wears in
the ball gown.
Because because it's like what does she wear in the when she's imagining herself having the restaurant?
Oh, she's in this
white.
She's in this slip dress.
It might be that.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll show you a picture. And it's
I feel like she's got a cap on with a feather.
I bet that's it.
Okay.
Anyway, so then there's this jazz
So
band.
it's like her imagination come to life.
Yes.
What? I would be.
It's not 2 floors like it is in the movie, and I was wouldn't it be awesome if it was the multiple floors like the sugar mill? Mm-hmm. They don't have that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's still amazing. It's like very elegant New Orleans themed. The jazz band is amazing. They play some Princess and the Frog songs, but then they also played like Everybody Wants to Be a Cat. Some
from
jazz.
Because it's jazz.
Jazz, yeah. They played some other random songs that
jazzy.
Jazzy. It was so great.
I love it.
Then there was a parade. Lewis comes out, the Gator from
sure, the trumpet player.
Holy cow, amazing! Fun. So and Tiana and Lewis go around and kind of give you a photo op.
Oh, cute!
And this is one where we actually could see them because our table wasn't terrible.
Oh, great!
If we had been in the corner, I feel bad for the people that were in the corner for that one. They couldn't get up. But anyway.
Yeah, sure.
In Triton's, there's no entertainment. There's a giant mural on the wall of Ariel and King Triton, and it's just very beautiful in there. In the animator's palette, that's where they do that the pictures are coming to life, and that whole restaurant goes from black and white to kind of color throughout the night.
That's so cool.
Very magical.
Right. So you're kind of immersed in it by your surroundings. You don't need like a show.
It kind of is a show. You know what I mean?
You're in the show.
Yeah. And then at the end of the night, the servers came through and did like a parade. It was fun.
So, okay.
But there's also a pirate night. And every Disney cruise. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there.
No, you're good. There's a pirate night on Disney.
Yes.
Every Disney cruise?
Every Disney cruise.
So what happens at pirate night?
So on pirate night, there's a fireworks show unless you're doing like the Marvel where that place. So pirate fireworks. The characters are all in pirate costumes. At your dinner, the menu is pirate themed. Yeah, it's kind of hard
Is
to
it just
explain.
rum? Like, why is it pirate
There's
themed?
rum-soaked stuff. Like, one of the desserts
Oh.
was a rum-soaked cake.
Got
Kind
it.
of a bummer for me because that doesn't sound good to me at all. I'm sure it sounds good to a lot of people.
Sure.
But, like, the thing I got that night was called, I think it was called, like, it had some treasure name to it. But
Treasure chum.
But it was basically pasta with, like, scallops and
Oh.
shrimp. Yeah. Treasure chest. I don't remember.
Loosely pirate themed.
Loosely pirate themed for sure.
Okay, sounds like the Halloween overlay situation all over again.
When we were on the Magic, on Pirate Night, yes, it is kind of like that. But no, it's not kind of like
It's
that because
better.
they've got other stuff going on.
Okay,
Yeah.
work.
On the Magic, we were in Animator's Palette for that night, and some cast members from the entertainment group dressed as pirates came in and sang pirate songs and like danced around and stuff like that. So
love that.
that didn't happen on this one, but it could have been because of which restaurant we were in that night.
Okay,
I
sure.
don't know.
All right, so we've talked a little bit about dining, experiences, activities, entertainment. The last thing I kind of want to talk to you about is, well, two things. What is Castaway Cay, first of all?
Okay.
And then, second of all, we're like down to the last 10 minutes of the podcast. You've taken 3 Disney cruises.
2.
Oh, sorry, you've taken 2 Disney cruises. What is your next step into, what would your ideal next trip be?
Sure. Okay, so Castaway Cay or Cay, depending on where you're from.
Really?
I looked it up.
Oh, no.
You could say it either way.
Not one of those.
Yeah.
Caribbean.
Is there, you're right, Caribbean. Is there private island that you only go there if it's scheduled in your itinerary, and there's only, of course, from Florida because it's a island in the Bahamas.
Sure.
Right? So if that is on your agenda, then that's somewhere you stop. They own the entire island. They've got beach chairs out. You can rent snorkeling equipment or a bunch of other stuff. They've got a trail that you can run. If you choose to go snorkeling, they have sunk a bunch of like Disney artifacts kind of down there.
Like
a Dumbo ride car, like a thing from The Little Mermaid, like
that's incredible.
like the statue. Yes.
Eric?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't actually get to do it, but
Cool.
my family did get to do
That
it.
might stress me out. I don't know if I'd want to do that. But it's cool that they
I
make it
couldn't
Disney.
do it because I had LASIK, and if you've had LASIK, don't do that because the salt water gets in your eyes and it burns.
Oh, no.
But anyway, so it's a beautiful island, and they just bought another one. They talked about it on D23.
Whoa.
So I guess they're going to have, which is great because if they've got 2 of their ships on the island at the same time, I've heard it could get very crowded. When we went, it was just the Magic, and it wasn't to capacity because this was early this year and people were so nervous about COVID, which people
Cruise
are
lines
not.
are just opening back up and stuff.
Yeah, people are not nervous anymore. They're all packed.
I bet.
But at that point, it was not to capacity. There weren't very many people on the island. It was gorgeous. Probably the best part of our trip.
Wow.
And then on Castaway Cay, you also get free food.
So for
they've got
first
stuff
time
out there.
cruisers, would you recommend trying to find a cruise that includes Castaway Cay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I enjoyed our trip that was from Florida much more than I enjoyed our trip that was from California. Not just because of our bad luck with the dining, but also because of Castaway Cay.
Yeah, because that was magical for you.
It really was, and
What do you do there
really
other than
loved
snorkeling?
There
Is
are a
it
bunch
eating
of
and like
you can
dancing and
you can not really dancing. I guess people could. When you get off, there are characters in swim outfits
Cute.
and the characters in costume. I will say is one of my favorite things.
It's like a beach day though. Like that's the
Yes.
vibe. Like you chill out, hang out in the water.
There are a bunch of things you can pay to do. You could definitely just hang out on the beach.
Beach party
eat
or
for
vacation.
free. Yeah,
That
totally.
sounds great.
And it's
Somebody bringing
gorgeous.
you a pina colada.
Yeah.
That type of vibe.
Yeah, totally.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite things. But the characters in costume are amazing. If you're doing a Marvel one, for that day they'll be dressed in Marvel costumes. If you're doing a Halloween one, they'll be dressed in Halloween costumes. Regardless, on Pirate Night, they'll be dressed in pirate costumes.
Sure.
Otherwise, there's still a bunch to see. And they're so cute and they're everywhere. So if you have a hard time seeing characters at the parks because the lines are insane, this is much better. We didn't go see Jack and Sally at the Halloween party, like
The
a
wait
month
can
ago?
be like 2
Because the
hours.
wait was like 2 hours. We got to see Jack and Sally on the Halloween at the High Seas cruise in 15 minutes.
Incredible.
Incredible.
All right.
So wrapping it up.
Next cruise. What are we
next
doing?
cruise. So we are trying to go in order.
Okay.
Right? So we did the Magic, we did the Wonder. Those are the two smallest ships. So next, I think I would like to do, I think the Fantasy and the Dream, I believe, are also sister ships.
Sure. Next level up.
I really want to jump ahead to Wish, because
Yeah.
it just opened and it's got a bunch of amazing things that none of the other ones have. But I'm going to try to hold off.
Pace yourself.
For me, it's about the cost, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course.
Florida residents get a discount, so that's something to keep in mind.
Great.
If you're a California resident, you might get a discount on the Wonder. If you're, you know what I mean. There are other options.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would like to do one of the other ships, the bigger ships, and see how it goes.
All right.
But it's going to be about pricing. I've also heard that Black Friday is a great time to book a cruise.
Oh, that's
when
a
I
hot tip.
booked. Yep, that's when I booked the Magic, and it was so cheap for
It's
three
coming up.
people,
It's
less
coming
than
up.
$500 a night.
That
includes food, entertainment,
Wow.
and the place you're staying.
So hey,
Great deal.
Black Friday's coming up. So if you're looking for your next vacation, you've got a little bit of money saved up, then maybe check out
That's
Black
when I'm
Friday.
gonna be looking,
And
yeah.
that's just on the Disney Cruise Line website.
Yes, you could go through a travel agent, and I hear that you can get extras if you go through a travel agent, and that doesn't cost you anything.
Sure.
I'm not recommending any specific travel agent yet because I haven't used one, but
Yep.
I have heard that that's a good thing, so it might be worth talking to somebody about. It shouldn't cost you anything. Do not pay for a travel agent.
No.
The cruise company pays the travel agent, not you.
Absolutely. Now, y'all, I know Morgan is basically a travel agent, so
Yeah.
like Morgan functions as her family's travel agent and is amazing at it.
Family and friends travel agent for sure.
Yeah, everything that I've ever been on, Morgan has been on top of everything, and I love you. I appreciate having you in my life for that reason and many more. Thank you so much. I feel like I know way more about Disney Cruise Line now than I did an hour ago. Hopefully, y'all at
it's
home.
unfortunately not the kind of thing that you can go into and be like, "Oh, I'm not going to get any spoilers."
Yeah, well,
you can't really.
And
do
like,
that.
you don't have to.
You can protect your family.
But we
from
talk about
spoilers
this
if you want.
sometimes. There's a line. You don't have to watch the whole thing on YouTube either.
Right.
You can just be aware of what sounds good
You
to
can look
you.
up tips and stuff like that, but you can't go in and not know what's going to happen.
And Disney will provide you with just a thumbnail photo and an experience breakdown, like a quick little blurb about the experience on their website, so that you don't have to know everything about what you're doing, but know what appeals to you.
But it's also a completely different experience. So, like, even if you do watch some YouTube stuff, you're still going to be mind blown when you're actually there.
Don't panic.
Yeah, it's not.
Don't panic. Plan.
Yeah, you have to plan.
Yeah.
That's my number one tip. Plan ahead.
All right. Thank you so much, Morgan, for
gosh,
sharing all of your insight. I'm so glad that you had a pretty good cruise. I'm so glad that you're back in Florida. I missed you. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, we would really appreciate it if you subscribe to the podcast and you also left a review
on Apple
telling us
please.
if we helped you at all with Disney planning, or just might be a little interested in the stuff that we're talking about. I know for me, I don't have like a scheduled Disney cruise coming up, but like this information for me is fascinating, and it gets my wheels turning on what I want to do for my vacation, which is a fun pastime, like thinking about what your next vacation might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
One time I read that that's one of the best parts about vacation, statistically or like psychologically, is the planning part.
Yeah, because it gets you so...
The anticipation.
It's optimism.
Yeah.
You know? Lovely. And then you guys, you can follow us online on socials. We're at NevNavCo, Neverland Navco on Instagram and on Twitter.
And on Facebook.
And on TikTok.
And on TikTok.
And then you can visit us online at neverlandnavigation.co. That's kind of our home base. That's where Morgan writes blogs about the experiences that we do, and it gives you links to everything else that we've got going on. And of course, our YouTube channel is Neverland Navigation Co., and that's where you can see the video version of this podcast live in living color, but also vlogs from all around Walt Disney World.
Right, we do a lot of
Dining
vacation
reviews.
planning kind of stuff to help out people.
Absolutely. Dining reviews, experience tours, all that kind of stuff. You can find it all there. I think that's about it.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and we will see you on our next adventure. Bye.